Okay, so let's talk about this header part right here. First thing to notice that it is separated by columns, and let's go look in the code here. What's happening right here? I am using the Bootstrap 4 framework, so I'm calling it a row right here, and the logo I'm separating by 3 columns, and then the social link by 4, and the last one, the login box, by 5 columns, total 12. So now let's look at the logo, right? To explain this code right here, we have to go all the way back. Look at the location here, and now at the WordPress backend, there's a option page that was created with ACF called theme settings, and the site logo is showing up right here, and it's coming from this custom fields, which is ACF right here. And if we go into theme settings, we find this logo right here. The site logo is the field ID, and since this is an options page, we're calling this ACF the field function with the option attribute attached to it. If you have an option page built with ACF, you can always use this function, making sure this attribute always present. That way this field ID can be called from any part of the theme. Okay, now let's look at the social link box. It is also, I'm talking about these guys here. It's also coming from the theme settings right here. These guys are being called, and when we go back to the theme settings under custom fields, we find these guys right here. And the way we are calling them here is by checking whether or not this field data is present. For example, if one of these fields are empty right here, then these guys will not show up because of this logic right here, get field. To show an example, let's go take out this YouTube from here and save it. Now we come here and refresh, drop down, YouTube is gone. This is happening because of this logic right here. We're calling get field and making sure this field ID is present. That means somebody inserted some data in there. If it is missing, it's not going to show it like this. And then when you put it back like this and save it, now the logic will find it, and once we refresh, YouTube is back. So after that, let's go check out this login box, which is this right here. Is just a simple few links are being called with Bootstrap 4 classes so that they look like buttons. But important thing to notice here is that it is all, the whole thing is covered by this logic. If the user is logged in, then it will show these two guys. Otherwise, this will just show the logout button. So that's about it for the header. Now let's go cover the drop-down body here. All right, let's cover the navigation body and the footer in this one. And as you can see right here, it looks like 3-column, but the way I'm doing it is I'm first dividing into 2-column, and then I'm dividing in one of the column, the right column, into another 2, and that's where I'm calling 3 different WordPress based menus. And before I get into it, to see some of the more detail, we just need to log in. Also, we need to verify if this part is working, right? So let's go log in. 1. And now when we go down, and here we see the logout button. And one extra feature shows up, which is the profile. This one was a little bit tricky, but let's see what it does first. Let's click on it, and that brings you to this specific athlete's profile page. Pretty much this is where the body starts, and at the very beginning I'm calling in the user object by using this function, WP get current user. This is a BuddyPress function. Once I get that, I'm also collecting the nice name, which is the display name basically, and then here I'm actually creating my URL, because if you go here, this profile page, you'll see that it comes after member / the athlete's name, the login name, right? So I'm manually, by calling this user object and calling its the user's login name, I'm actually manufacturing my profile URL here, and then only if you are logged in, then I'm showing it right here, thus this profile button. And when this is clicked, it actually shows up to the member / athlete1. This part is static and this part is variable. And now let's look at these guys right here. As I said before, it's still Bootstrap, and I'm calling a container fluid, and then I'm calling a row here, and first I'm dividing into 2 parts, which is call SM5 for the left menu, and then call SM7 for the right menu. 7 plus 5 makes it a 12, so that gives me these 2 blocks. And then this block, the right menu, inside the SM7 I'm calling a row again, and then dividing them into 2 parts, 4 and 8. And to check out the origin of these guys, first let's go to the functions, theme setup, right here. The global drop-down menu, left menu, and the right menu 1, right menu 2. This is where I'm actually, under the theme setup, I'm declaring these menus right there, and then I am calling them right here one by one. And let's go see at the WordPress backend how they look like. This is the primary menu, and then global left. This is where all the details coming from, and there's the position right here, left menu checked. That is giving me these guys right here, athlete, universities, learn, etc. All these guys. And then let's go to global right 1. And that's where I'm calling all these sports. related pages right here, and the same thing is repeated on the global right menu too. And that's pretty much explains the whole body right here. And then as far as the footer goes, let's go check that out. It's right here. Only thing is, there are the texts and such are coming from the options page, which is the theme settings, which actually right here, theme settings. Right here at this part, this global drop-down footer need help, the links and all the text necessary. These are coming from this custom field theme settings, going all the way back, and here's all your global footer text. These are the variables, and we are calling them at the footer with this ACF function, the field, and the field name and the option as an attribute, just like we did all these other guys. So this actually concludes the front end, back end, and the code description of the global drop-down menu, which is also a nice little drop-down mobile menu here. And thanks for watching.